We all go to crazy places to find love, or at least dates. Wait, just me? Well, today's video we're going to be reacting to is called Vrchat Dating is the Worst. I know, what an intro, right? Link to the original video down in the description below. If you like the commentary and discussions that we do on this channel, though, consider subscribing. Get your keyboards ready, because it's going to be a wild one. See you on the comments.
I've made a lot of videos on VRChat, 2 to be exact. One going through the deep crevice that is VRChat and its many problems. Like kids invading the lobbies and experiencing trauma on the same level as watching Uncle Ben being shot 5 times over and then getting grittied on. Or
I have a VRChat video on my channel. It's actually one of my more popular ones. It's maybe I'll link it at the end of the video. You know how they have the little watch next, but it'll be the it's called VRChat comes to Nintendo Switch. It's a pretty stupid video, but I love it.
Or parental negligence, like most kids nowadays are experiencing. And in my second video, we went over the predators of VRChat.
Yep.
Which was not even interesting. It was a horror story with how rampant it is on VRChat and the fact the devs have put nothing in place to protect the children that play this game.
Ever since it came to Meta, and Meta being so affordable and anyone could use it, it got worse. Because in the past, this is where somehow it wasn't as bad. But in the past, you could play desktop. But most people didn't know you could do that. You could just boot it up and play with your computer without having VR. But no one really knew that. So that being said, with that being said, most of the people that were kids and would probably fall into this trap didn't have a PC to play. They would have consoles and stuff like that. But as soon as Meta, Facebook, introduced the Oculus, things got dramatically worse with this specific issue.
And don't even ban these people that have been confirmed to be predators and target children. And even if they do, they'll just make another account because they won't get IP or hardware banned. And it's to the point where you can frequently experience it in most lobbies. It's about as common as finding a hacker in CSGO. Or
that's not hacking, it's a skill issue. No, but VRChat, like, I used to play it a lot and I really liked it. But I think I stopped playing it, one, because like there's kids everywhere, and I was just like, you can't even play like any of the spooky games because there's just it just got weird. But then it got also weirder, right? Because VRChat in and of itself is weird. But what makes it even crazier, right, is that the people who are, I'm not saying still on it, right, but these people specifically that he's talking about are growing in number. Does that make sense? So I have a lot to say about this VRChat stuff because I used to play it and stream it. Now, that being said, I used to make content, so it's a little bit different. But it's like the weird people back then there wasn't so many. Whereas like now there's way more than there's ever been. Whereas in the past, it was kind of like really balanced. You could still experience chaos, but it wasn't this many people.
a gambling addict.
Vice.
Gamba?
We need Vice stocks in factory new.
Nine! But the people I talked to on that video were just genuinely terrible people, and I know one of which is still active on the platform. But what else can I say about VRChat? Well, recently I came across a video on YouTube that edged my prostate like a full-gloved fist.
What? What is this guy saying?
Colonizing my crevice. With interest, of course, because as said previously, I'm a seasoned vet in VRChat.
Oh, no.
You know what? I'm not gonna pretend like anyone's better than him. We've all been there. If you're watching this video, you either knew nothing about VRChat or you know too much. So let's not pretend, okay? I'm no better than nobody else when it comes to playtime on VRChat.
I've earned my 4 tour medals, and I'm proud of them because I essentially overcame my addiction and developed 2 more. Gambling.
And YouTube.
And making these videos for
Yeah,
you little goobers. So essentially,
I'm addicted to making videos to you guys too. I love it.
I have more than enough credentials to talk about the topic, even though I know some of you mentally diseased and crippled are going to comment that have more hours than me, and in comparison I'm a novice compared to them, which is essentially like bragging you have stage 3 terminal gonorrhea. But how many VRChat hours do you have? But anyway, the video that piqued my interest was about VRChat dating, and there is actually a lot to VRChat dating, and it has changed exponentially since I stopped playing the game, and the rabbit hole goes deeper than the Mariana Trench now. But anyway, quickly, if you don't know what VRChat is, I'm gonna guess there is not a solid...
And that dating app is a real app, by the way. I remember when they launched it. What a day. Because it was like, when you went into the servers, you just hear everybody talking about it. And you're just like, dude, this is gonna get bad. Honestly, maybe that was the reason why it got worse over the years. I don't know. Or you know what? Now that I think about it, it probably got really bad because of the pandemic. So everyone was inside. You got all these people who are now exposed to this game. And then as everybody decided, once most people went back to their normal lives, the people who got addicted at that time, probably the number of weirdos got increased. I guess that's probably what it was, really.
block of Parmesan that has hardened to the level of granite under that meat sleeve of yours, or you're a Rec Room player. VRChat is a virtual platform where you can interact with other people through the power of VR, with additional features to improve your immersion being face tracking, full body tracking, and unfortunately ERP, which is essentially just pixel smashing or explicit activities on the VRChat.
It's a way of life, dude. What are you talking about, man? It's a skill. It's a skill, I promise.
Platform, also a big problem because of how frequent it is.
Your little pussy belongs to me.
And the fact that people are actually monetizing it now.
I'm an escort, so I kind of do this for pay for people. It's $25 for an entire hour.
Yes, you can pay for a crumb of genitalia on VRChat now.
The digital pussy. I used to play GTRP, and we used to make fun of people who got like really weird about it. It's the the pixels, man. They're addicted to the pixels, bro. No, actually, so there's some context here. So theirs was like back in the day. You would see stuff like this, but what it was they had like strip clubs and stuff like that, but these countries that made porn illegal, they would get on this game and then hire people to do like weird stuff for them. So you would have people like exchanging crypto and shit like that. I know, and it's like, how would I know that? It's just because, hey, I've been on the internet way too long. But basically, yeah, it was just another way other than Twitch for people who didn't have porn in their country or corn in their country, to experience this.
Oh, how we've strayed from the path of God. It also gets worse when there's actually avatars that can interact with each other now through a feature called DPS. No, not damage per second, idiot. Dynamic penetration system. There is also equipment now that will suction cup to your genitals, and if somebody touches your avatar or touches that area of your body, it will respond.
The Gooners.
And there is also a new thing called High Shock, which is a collar you can wear and people can electrocute you. Like, I know it's a kink and everything, and you do you, but just commit a few murders, and I think in most American states, they'll do that for free. But it's safe to say that VRChat has evolved into a more NSFW setting from its initial concept and release in 2014. And the VRChat devs are aware of this, with many VRChat worlds having age warnings and terms and conditions, along with a filter that, when enabled in the settings, disables anything labelled as NSFW. But if your face isn't grimacing from the things I've just listed, and your appetite is still well intact, the worst things that happen in VRChat I can't mention in this video.
Yeah, it gets pretty dark, bro. All of it gets really dark. But the reality is, there was going to be some form of software that let us not us, I don't know why I said us, but let people live in the Ready Player One life. And the reality is, the people who are going to jump into it first are probably the corn addicts, right? It's just funny because it's like if you look at a lot of the technological innovation comes from people addicted to corn and people addicted to war. So, I mean, it's just kind of, I'm not surprised because this is kind of what is expected from the degenerates on the internet. So, like, I'm not surprised, but it is crazy that it's so blatantly known. Like, and I guess VR chat can't really moderate, but there's definitely stuff they can do, or at least IP ban or something like that. There's more that they can do, but the gooners, the rise of the gooners is probably what's going to propel VR chat to become the new real world. We're gonna have to download it into our brains so that we can be in both worlds at the same time.
But anyway, with what VR chat is and the degenerate activities that are carried out the way, wouldn't you be happy to know that most of it applies to the VR chat dating scene? And with my bachelor's degree in VR chat and loneliness, we're going to talk about the VR chat dating scene and how bad it truly is. So load up that 44 caliber Magnum,
We're going
kiss your
deep.
family members goodbye for
We're
the last
going
time,
deep.
because in your current state, if you have any hope for humanity left in you, it's about to get diminished.
Yes.
So first, how does VR chat dating work?
That intro, that music, gives me PTSD. Scares me, bro.
Well, it's very straightforward and has been made simpler over time. I know this is not a tips and tricks video on how to build a Minecraft house. I know you're lonely, but hopefully not this lonely.
No.
It usually begins by going into public lobbies, meeting somebody, finding out you have a lot in common and actually getting along. I know people with social anxiety are probably struggling with the first step here.
And also, it's just like, I got into it because I was like, what would be funny? To practice voices and mess with people. But then I got addicted because they started adding more characters and things you can do, and then they added like cool like mini games. Like it was like one of the easiest ways to play VR horror games without buying them. Does that make sense? Now I'm gonna come out and just say I was cheap. One of the things that got me into VR chat was the VR. Like I like VR. I actually do still like VR. I just don't like paying for games that are just gonna be pretty ass. Whereas like VR chat, almost all of them are free, and you can get a decent sized experience without paying $40. But anyway, I say all that to say, there's always a no matter who you are, there's always a draw to it in the beginning. Is kind of what he's trying to point out.
After getting along for a bit, you probably log on daily to meet each other. Maybe go on virtual dates, maybe sit in front of mirrors, cuddling each other like the rest of the narcissists in that game.
Yeah.
Prying any VR chat user from a mirror. It's like prying a crackhead from a crack pipe.
They're addicted.
And maybe you even have matching avatars. Look at you, aren't you so cute? And then maybe after all of this, you decide to take it to the next level.
And they're all 800 pounds combined.
The big step, the final base, if you will. You've transitioned from thigh highs to big boy pants now. And that is adding them on Discord, where they'll finally send you a picture of themselves and ask for one in return. You look in the mirror, the camera flashes, and you send the picture. She starts typing, and then you realize something. She's just deleted her picture. Well, buddy, you've just been blocked. She was so repulsed by the way you look, your personality could...
And you doxed yourself. Or not I guess it's not really. But like you revealed your hand. No, but also it's just like 99% of the people that post those pictures, it's like a meme almost, but they post pictures of just random people on the internet. So it's just like, it's the funniest form of catfishing. Because it's going to happen every fucking time. So it's like, I don't know. It's just hilarious. It's actually really hilarious.
Could not carry that relationship. As a result, subsequently, she had to block you. Or maybe it's the other way around and you learned they looked like Larry from SpongeBob or something straight out the chum bucket. But either way, that is basically dating in VR chat. And if you thought all the e-couples were confined to Valorant,
Oh, I hate
then you're wrong,
Valorant.
because it's most lobbies you will find people like this. Either people expressing their love for one another or people looking for somebody. I mean, come on, there is a reason why most people in most lobbies have their current relationship status in their bio.
Okay, I'm not gonna act like I'm better than anybody. I actually thought it was cool to promote my Twitch stream on there. And now that I'm looking back on it, bro, it was so fucking cringe. It's so cringe. It's the same like no offense to anybody, but it's like the people who put YT or TTV in their names when they're streaming or like playing any games, like Marvel Rivals, they have TTV in their name. Like, bro, if you have to promote yourself while playing a game in the actual game, there's probably a reason why no one's watching you. But I was cringe like that. I put my fucking Twitch in there thinking like, oh, I'm trolling people. And then I put my thing in there so that hopes people do it. No one ever fucking checked that. But nowadays, this is next level shit. Okay. But I just want to point out, I was cringe too. So in my own way, I was cringe.
For their current mental status and easily lied about age and the members of their fake family because mummy and daddy didn't want to repeat the same mistake, and quite possibly the name of their partner. This is the average VRchat user now, apart from the people that only get on to get high and drink themselves to death.
Yeah, so there's I don't know if they're gonna talk about this in the video, but I'll say it now. I used to drink and troll on VRchat, but also I was streaming, so there was a reason. There was content behind it. Believe it or not, you can actually become an alcoholic when in VR and drinking. So if you can somehow manage to stabilize your I'm over-explaining. So in VR headsets, there's an internal gyroscope that allows you to keep your balance when you're playing the game, right? But that being said, traditionally when you're drinking and you're drunk, right? Like I'm drinking, right? You start wobbling, you feel it. But with the VR headset, your eyes and stuff is starting to balance itself. So you technically can start drinking more before you start feeling the effects. That's why when you see people who drink in VR, they actually become alcoholics, or they actually become alcoholics because their body is now you can trick your body into drinking more with the VR headset because you're stabilizing yourself while you're drinking. Something stabilizing you. And I hope that makes sense. That's how VR players become alcoholics, is because the headset in there stabilizes them while they're drinking. And so there's no way for them to know if they drank too much until they actually really, really fucking feel it. And if their body gets used to it over time and stabilize and stuff like that, it becomes even worse. It's like, there's a whole science behind it.
I did an experiment and proved this to be true. All right, testing out. I hear people buy the mirror. This is going to be easy. This is going to be GG's easy.
People buy the mirror?
Done. GG's. VRchat and e-dating have become synonymous with each other. Why do you think these so-called tools that VRchat users use for long-distance relationships either sponsor or target VRchat users? Because that aspect alone has become a part of VRchat's personality now. And that's why most people, when they hear you play VRchat, think you're a filthy little e-dater. But most of those things existed when I was still playing VRchat. It's actually been a thing for quite some time, and a majority of people are used to the usual antics and are desensitized at this point to most of the occurrence of these things. But imagine my horror when I learned that it's been made easier now, and they've actually revolutionized it to a point where I didn't even think was possible, with 2 new methods that don't even require you to use VRchat, and a feature added by the VRchat team which has been used for dating.
I haven't played in probably a year. I can't believe they added groups. I don't know if this is a good idea. Can I be honest? Because people, if you wanted to meet people that were similar to you, you would like go to a world and like interact with stuff. So like if I wanted to, I don't know, like we play horror games, I would just go to a public horror game lobby and then you would find people that play horror games. But this, I'm gonna keep it on. I'm gonna be honest. This is not a good idea.
Feature added by the VRchat.
I mean, it is, but I think it's a bad thing.
Chat team, which has been used for dating.
The app. Uh-oh.
The newer method is an app. Yes, there is a VRchat dating app. In fact, there are multiple. Two main ones are Never Met and Virtual, which are actually
Virtual.
advertised in VRChat Wilds. And the experience on the app is very akin to Tinder, where you can swipe right if you're interested in somebody and left if you're not. And Never Met has the added feature of not allowing you to upload an actual picture of yourself. It has to be a VRChat picture of your avatar, as the main driving point is going off personality first instead of appearance.
Mental illness first and then appearance second. No, look, I'm not trying to be an asshole, but I just think there's a lot wrong.
But I think a 60-year-old dude in a femboy avatar pretty much reveals your personality.
Yeah.
On the app, there is a way to verify your age, but all it does is simply verify your account. It doesn't prevent you from using the app in general. So like Tinder, it has that flaw of potentially people lying about their age. So if you're going to use the app, be careful.
Or
But
don't.
the pipeline probably goes like you match with somebody, you say your greetings, you get to know each other, then you either add each other on Discord or you start playing VRChat together. And then things progress from there.
Yep.
But the fact there is an app for dating in VRChat is just foreign to me. Like, we got a VRChat dating app before GTA 6 and before Valorant did it. But then again, they have Swift Play for that. But it just feels like
True.
it shouldn't exist. And at the same time makes sense it exists. It's weird to be at this stage of the internet. But you know, if you end up finding someone nice on that, good for you.
I just think like we were bound for this. I just think it's funny that it's not within the game already. Like that's, to me, that's where I think it's like if we were gonna peak at, or not peak, but if we were going down the line of what we expect the technology to do, it would have made more sense for it to somebody to create some system inside the actual game. But I'm sure they would never do that because they don't want to be responsible for what happens. But it's just crazy that we're getting closer and closer. And I think this video is like 8 months old, and it's been like maybe a year or two since I've played. So probably been like 2 years. I'm not even gonna lie to you, but I just think it's like I'm curious right now to log back into it, but I am also terrified to see what they've added and what they haven't added. I'm actually scared.
I hope the mental trauma in the long run is worth it.
Discord. The
Getting the way
Chinese
is through
marketplace
Discord
app.
servers. As I mentioned in my previous video, there are club Discord servers for VRChat, for organizing events.
Which I've been to these. This is one of the reasons why I stuck around, is because it was cool to go to like virtual shows, especially during the pandemic.
In the virtual world and meeting other people. Some of the more popular Discord servers and clubs are Club Mika, Club Poseidon, and Club Orion. And quite often on these Discord servers, there is either a bio section or a dating section where you can...
I've never did the Discords though. I would just see if anybody was streaming it. Like I had people that were like DJs, and so they would stream it on Twitch, and that's how I knew that there was something going on. So I would just stream snipe, I guess, to just know if there was an event.
talk about yourself and hope somebody sends you a Discord message. And in some of these Discords, there is a one night stand section where you can post a temporary bio and meet that person that night.
Brother,
and knock the ones and zeros out of their binary. Until post-nut clarity gets you and you realize what you've just done. But as I've said previously, I've made a hobby of occasionally looking at these bios, because in general, most of them are normal. Just people genuinely looking for a connection with somebody, and there is nothing wrong with that. There's nothing wrong with looking for friends or a potential partner. And VRChat in general was made to make connections with other people. It is a social game, but occasionally you get a bio in these Discords that genuinely sticks out from the rest.
Let me know in the comments down below if y'all want me to get back to VRChat. Maybe we might react to some videos. I think that's what it is. You know, it's funny because like some people found me through streaming on Twitch, VRChat, and I always told myself I'll never go back, but if we have enough people, I will. You know what? I'll give it a fair shake this time around.
Either because it's really disturbing, or they go into a deep layer of detail about their interests and extracurricular activities. For example, let's look at a normal one compared to one that may be viewed as extreme. Of course, I'm going to censor important information so you can't track them down. Age 19. Gender male.
Male.
Country and time zone France.
XQC.
French.
Sexuality straight. Preference women. Availability mostly at night.
XQC. XQC. XQC.
Looking for ERP partners and friends.
XQC.
Now, that was a really normal one. Like, I'm surprised how safe for work that was. But it only gets worse from here. Age 21. Country/time zone. Europe. France.
XQC.
Oh, fuck. I think I'm allergic to the French. Gender, female. Sexuality, straight. Looking for friends with benefits. Friends. Pet owners. Hard dom.
Dom, no!
And masters uwu.
XQC.
Preference, masculinity. Game
XQC.
policy, open. Kinks, domination, degradation, pet play.
XQC. I'm done with that bit. I'm sorry.
And I'm not reading the last one out. Now that is still a semi-normal bio, and probably your average VR chat player. Now for the more extreme ones.
Uh-oh.
People that definitely need their internet access revoked,
And he's
and their name
Jesus.
blacklisted from most internet service providers.
Get him out of
Age,
here.
Late 30s, gender, male, sexuality, straight, but I love to consume cock in VRC though.
Okay. This is the part that gets me. How are you gonna say you're straight but you're gay?
Looking for woman, new master, relationship, and possibly a wife. And a overly hot bitch that loves to be lewd.
Fuck it, we ball.
Kinks. Public lobby fun. Vor would like to try.
Oh hell,
domination.
no, we're not balling no more. But now, if you don't look it up, please.
Loss. And then a laundry list of kinks that I'm not going to read out. Now that bio was something, but it gives
Yeah,
you a better idea
it
of
gets
the more
worse, I'm sure.
extreme side of VR chat. And not all players are like that, it's just the small community of degenerates.
This is the part where the felonies come in place.
The last thing used for dating was actually implemented by VRChat itself. And this is VRChat groups, and it released recently. It allows you to join small communities and join public or private instances for that group. In addition to this, you can also wear the title of one of the groups above your head,
Gooners.
so that everyone around you knows you're a part of that group. Some of my favorite groups are
Clan tags, bro. That's crazy.
the Gooning Group, the Arizona Tea Gang, the Submersible and Implosive Gang, the Daddy Markiplier Gang, and for any British person that wants a decent sausage roll, the Greg's Gang book. Couplant is obviously bare, so f*** you. But there are also a lot of dating groups, a lot for single people, and a lot for just things like ERP, with most of them being
Oh man, I could I could just think of the craziest, some of the dumbest shit we could put in there. Like I don't know how many letters it would be, but mine would be like Mexican. Just put it. Oh no, he's here. We got a Mexican. Anyway, there's just so many fucking tags you can do that is really funny.
a joke, but some of them being completely serious.
Yeah, these are
But
kind
as
of
said, some of
crazy.
these groups have events where you can join and meet other single people. So basically, it's on the same lines as a IRL singles event. Also, just an extra note, if you have your VR chat groups public, and you have some degenerate groups in there, people tend to use that
No.
first when they're trying to bully you.
Oh, hell no,
Yeah.
man. What the
And judging by
Hey, the UK, y'all got a lot going on. VR chat's probably the least of y'all's concerns right now.
the people watching, the person bullying you is going to have adequate ammunition, probably 7.62 hollow point.
Gordon,
Yep.
you lousy motherfucker. Get your dork ass down to the test chamber or else I will shove the sample up your ass.
Now, there's only so much we can do, the outside looking in for this topic. Like, we can generally talk about VR chat dating, but not necessarily experience it ourselves. And no, I'm not going on a VR chat date just for a video.
I will. You know what? I will. But I don't have VR anymore. because my Oculus whatever is basically unsupported now. So I would, if we could get like a subscriber goal, I would get back like I don't know, what are we at? 20,000? 35? 40, 50? What do y'all think? I'd say 50. If we get to 50,000 subscribers, I will start a VR chat dating show. Sorry, I just blanked out because I was like, I'm probably gonna, if we hit, like, I want to hit that, but I was just saying that I was like, I'm probably gonna regret that. But hey, 50,000, I'll start a VR chat dating show, and fuck it, we ball.
Fuck you. But we can
No,
experience
fuck
how
you,
these
bro.
relationships start through the methods I described previously to see if VR chat dating really is deplorable or just completely normal. So I did an experiment and set up 4 accounts. 2 on the
No.
Never Met app, a male and a female, both in their early 20s just looking for someone to play games with and possibly date in VR chat. And I posted 2 bios in the Discord servers, one from a female and one from a femboy. Because, you know, okay, at this point, once again, both in their early 20s, both looking for a relationship, regardless of gender, and some interesting spice to go along with it. I kept these accounts up for 24 hours, and kept to the rule of not replying to them, because that would have just been cruel at that point. And the results were very interesting. It
Were they
actually
bots?
surprised me.
Were
On
they
the Never Met
bots?
app, the female got 20 matches in the first day, and just generally wholesome messages asking for people to play games. The male, on the other hand, only 5 matches and no messages whatsoever. Now,
Probably dudes. Probably other dudes just looking to goon.
going onto the Discord, it gets more interesting. Because on the Never Met app, we're actually restricted to what we can say, but on these Discord servers, we can basically say whatever we want. And do that I did. And the responses, as I said, were surprising. For the Discord femboy, they received no messages whatsoever.
Delete yourself, dude. Delete your Discord account.
Nobody was interested. Maybe I'm just bad at acting like a femboy. But the female, on the other hand, received 12 message requests from 9 guys, 2 females, and 1 femboy.
Well, what are the number? What is the chromosome makeup of all these numbers right now? Because you could say 2 females, but those are actually dudes, right? And then so it's really just 11. No, but it's 12 dudes. It's really just 12 dudes.
The youngest being 21 and the oldest being 29.
So you're really looking at 28 through 43 right now. So that's what I see. It's not these numbers.
All looking for relationships and 2 proposing just to be friends with benefits. And the messages were actually kind of wholesome. You had 1 guy sending a picture of his cat, 1 just looking for cuddles in VR chat, and 1 looking to watch an anime together. It actually surprised me there was not 1 NSFW message.
So much so he ended up following up with every single one of them, and now he's in love, and that's why his videos are all VR chat now.
Even with the bait in the bio, they all just wanted to do wholesome things. But you could make the argument that, you know, maybe they're acting like that so you don't think they're a creep. But we never know, because I'm not interacting with them any further.
We all know you did. Don't lie to us. If you're a scientist at heart, a researcher, you would do it for the people that are counting on you. No? Conclusion.
But in conclusion, VR chat dating really isn't all that bad and probably gets a bad rep. Yes, I've made fun of it throughout this video, but that's just me being me. I think as long as it's between 2 consenting adults, emphasis on the adults, and they're not doing anything explicit in public lobbies where kids are, I think it's fine. We live in an age now where online dating's becoming more and more normal because of social media and online games, where you have people meeting their future husband in Valorant and VR chat. Yes, it has a negative stigma around it. People usually think you're a weirdo if you online date, but compared to like 10 years ago, I think that stigma's getting more and more weaker. Because as I said, it's becoming more and more normal to utilize technology where you can connect to everyone around.
I wouldn't say it's more normal or a stigma. I mean, it is a stigma, but when technology gets better, substantially better, like if you were to come to me and say, hey, you can live out your Ready Player One like let's say I'm a Ready Player One fanatic and I want to live out that fantasy, right? And all you have to do is wear these glasses and it fully submerges your whole brain in your body and you're fully locked in. You're you know what I mean? And you don't have to do anything, right? Like there's no surgeries, no nothing. I don't have to wear that. It's all seamless. Once technology allows you to do that or something along those lines, it will become extremely normal. If anything, I would think it become popular. It's kind of the reason why a lot of people think we're living in a simulation. Because if you were to take the logical reasoning of humanity and where we're striving towards or what we're headed down, it's kind of like, well, what's going to happen? It's probably already happened if that's what's going to happen.
Around the world. VRChat was the first instance where you can interact with those people through the power of virtual reality. And of course, as people interact with each other around the world, relationships are going to happen. And I think eventually it's just going to become normal. And I know I shit on VRChat a lot, but it's one of my most played games. Just down to the fact I've met friends through there, and they've made it worthwhile putting 3,500 hours in.
I mean, I think it's really cool. Like the VR chat game is actually cool. Granted, I'm not going to pretend like I know what's going on the game right now. Like I kind of do, obviously through this video, because you can kind of see the signs from the beginning. But I haven't played it in 2 years. I said a year earlier, but it's I'm going to be honest, it's probably been 2 years. But the thing is, it's like probably even longer than that. But regardless of that, the whole idea is that there is a reason why people play this for other reasons. And there's cool horror games, cool games. Like imagine playing the Squid Games in VR. That would be really cool. Like there's so much potential with this game. It just sucks that the normal on this game, the feature set is really empowering that rather than what the actual game could be. Which look, I don't run a tech company, so I wouldn't know. But there is some type of charm to VR chat, so I'm not going to shit on it that much. But let me know what you think in the comments down below. Are we cooked? Is humanity cooked? Is there any reason why we should save the planet? Anyway, love you guys. Just check it out on the next one. Bye-bye. This video is brought to you, actually, by viewers like you. Thank you so much for subscribing and being part of my journey and allowing me to be a part of yours. Let's create new memories this 2025 on our road to 1 million subscribers. And with all that jazz out of the way, I just want to say thank you so much. I love y'all and enjoy the video.